My peoples, my peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get a healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing, man. Listen, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. Is this a real fight? Are they gonna fight for real? Is it staged? It is an exhibition. Is someone actually gonna win? Is someone actually gonna lose? Buen día, mi amor. But I digressed. So again, man, this is gonna be an interesting exhibition, to say the least. And we have to talk about it. How does this exhibition play out? Could it be possible that somebody gets knocked out? Jake Paul says he's gonna get the most viral knockout. And Tank Davis, we know about his power. But is it gonna be a real fight, my people? Are they really gonna be out there swinging, trying to go for the fences? Or is it just gonna be a show, an exhibition show, entertainment? We're gonna trade here and there, but it's gonna be more controlled. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not convinced that this is a real fight. Right now, y'all ain't convinced me. That's all I gotta say. I know they said that it's gonna be 10 rounds, 3 minutes. They're gonna have professional judges who are gonna score the fight, and somebody's gonna be announced the winner at the end. I get all that, but it's still an exhibition. And the fact that it's an exhibition makes me wonder, is it actually gonna be, competitive? Are they actually gonna be fighting with each other? Card tape. You look like you want to give me great advice. What is it? So, again, my people, listen. This fight, I'm still wondering, is it going to be a real fight? Are Jake Paul and Tank Davis going to actually get in there and try to beat each other up? Underrated Will. Salute, my brother. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. What do you think, man? This Tank Davis, Jake Paul exhibition, do you think it's going to be a real fight? Because to me, it doesn't even go together. Exhibition, real fight. In this case, is it really an exhibition and a real fight at the same time? I don't know. I don't know. I need to be convinced. I have not been convinced. Even though they said the judges and all that stuff that they're going to have in play, it's an exhibition. Card tape. I don't care. It's going to be a draw. A draw? I don't know. They said that there's going to be a winner or loser in case somebody doesn't get knocked out. So the way that they describe it is like somebody could end up getting knocked out. Jake Paul says that he's going to get the most viral knockout. No, 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 no. No. Hold on, my people. My peoples, you already know what it is, man. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. A little breakfast right here. This is the kickoff right here. A little protein shake. Enjoy your breakfast if you're having it at this moment, my peoples, or if you're about to. Christopher, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Salute, Christopher. The Hydro Grind. Good morning, my peoples. Let's get a healthy dose of boxing for breakfast. You already know what it is, man. You get the Hydro Grind. I'm interested in what you got to say, man. Listen. Tank Davis and Jake Paul is about to fight. Well, they're about to exhibition show. And they're saying that it's gonna be a real fight, that they're gonna have judges who are gonna score the rounds, and somebody's arm is gonna be raised at the end, and that a knockout can happen. Do you believe Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is gonna be a real fight? And that question goes for everybody in the chat. Is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul gonna be for real? Are they really gonna be swinging for the fences, trying to knock each other out and all of that? Or is it gonna be more of a controlled show? To know, man, because honestly, my peoples, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Is this gonna be a real fight? Is Tank Davis gonna actually be trying to knock Jake Paul out? And is Jake Paul gonna be trying to knock Tank out too? You saw what he said in the first presser? That he's gonna score the most viral knockout of Tank Davis. I don't see that happening, but I'm interested, man. What do you guys think? Don't duck this smoke, the hydro grind. The hydro grind. I don't think they'll get approved by the commission, but they're trying to push for it to be a real one. It won't count. It will count in the record and everything, but I think it's impossible. It's a circus. Look, if a knockout happens in this exhibition, it's going to be insane. It's going to be extremely viral. Either way, if somebody get knocked out, this is gonna be crazy. Cause think about it, we're like, nah, this is an exhibition. This thing is not for real. And then somebody going to sleep, that shit would be crazy. That shit would be crazy. You have to understand, even though it's an exhibition, we ain't never seen Tank go to sleep. We ain't never seen Jake go to sleep. So if somebody was to get slept, that shit would be crazy. Jazz Phone 22, circus fight. What can I tell you, brother? What can I tell you? What can I tell you? That's all I'm gonna say to that. The hydro grind with 12-ounce gloves, it's a pillow fight. I mean, now listen. Even them 12-ounce gloves, they could hurt you. You know, the right shot, they could hurt you. But still, they should have did it with 8-ounce. Should have did it with 8-ounce if you're really trying to see somebody get knocked out. Um, Look, man, I told you guys, I'm not convinced. That's why I don't see a knockout happening. I see them going 10 rounds and at times trying to make it look competitive. Like, look, we're fighting. But I don't know, man. I foresee more of a scripted, a nice little sparring match where they trade some leather. But ain't nobody really trying to knock nobody out. I don't see it, man. I just don't. If it turns into that, if it turns into a slugfest where they trying to knock each other out, I'm gonna be surprised. I'm gonna be like, what's going on over here? The hydro grind 10 rounds agree. Yeah, they're doing 10 rounds with the 12-ounce gloves. Bleed blue. Jake Paul is the best. Okay, let's see. You're gonna fight Tank Davis to prove your point. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Again, look at the mix that's going on here. It's an exhibition fight, but it's real at the same time. I don't know. You tell me. I need to be convinced. I've never seen an exhibition real fight. So convince me that it's gonna be real. We're gonna find out if they're actually trying to knock each other out. We're gonna see it. If it's a sparring match, we're gonna see that too. We're gonna find out soon enough. But I already told you, right now, I am not sold that Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is more than an exhibition. I know, yeah, we got the judges and we're gonna do all this and that. It's an exhibition still. And that's not gonna slip past me. Jazz Funk 22. Just can't take it seriously. We'll be watching the Crawford versus Canelo fight again. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Jazz Funk 22. I'm gonna be tuning in to that exhibition show. And at some point, you might have the curiosity to say, let me see what's going on over there. Because at the end of the day, it's a spectacle, it's a show. And honestly, I do want to see, are they really going to swing for the fence? Are they really going to try to, it's interesting for me. I find it interesting to see if that's going to happen. So I'll be tuning in. And look, I'm upset that Tank Davis opted to duck Lamont Roach, but I still support him. I still support him. And he's going to go get the bag. Hey, look, I support it. I'm tuning in. Get your bag, but that was some duck goof ballery that you pulled off. Blade Brew, why would they do all that and get a stadium and train their ass just for a fake fight? Well, you do know that they do exhibitions all the time, and those are fake fights. Like, this would not be the first one, bro. Like, there's a lot of them. The Grind. We'll all be watching. It's called Business, Bleed Blue. Of course we're all going to be watching. People, listen, there are people who won't tune in. There are those who say, nah, I'm not even going to waste my time with this. But most of us will be watching it. We'll be tuning in. Is it what we wanted for Tank Davis? No. Is it what we wanted for Jake Paul? No. Neither guy's fighting who they supposed to be fighting. Talking about, we're the biggest names in boxing and we're going to do it with each other. I don't want to hear that shit. Jake Paul, I want to see him fight somebody around his age, around his size, and have a similar boxing experience as him. Similar amount of fights as him. That's it. That's all I asked him to do. Fight a contender. Fight a contender. I think that's fair. Bleed Blue. I'm not going to let another man hit me and me not actually fight back. That makes sense. The Hydro Grind. It's called sparring, Bleed Blue. Jazz Funk. We'll watch the highlights on YouTube the next day. Yeah, there's people that's going to wait for the highlights and watch that. I may actually be calling it. I don't know. Some people told me that I should call it anyways. So I may end up calling that fight. But again, is it going to be real? Is it going to be a sparring match? I think that we're going to know within the first round when Tank Davis and Jake Paul kicks off. We're going to know right away if this fight is for real. If we see them moving around and studying and doing a whole lot, and both of them, and round number 2, the same thing. They're both jabbing and little. Now that's it. Now you know it's a show. It's a cooking show. And you watch it. But if they go out and it don't take too long before you see Jake Paul's going to have the huge height and reach, right? If they don't take too long for you to see the long 1-2, where he really trying it, and Tank Davis trying to counter, If you see some of those, you're like, okay, they fighting for real. This is serious right here. It's about to go down. So I'm not convinced that it's a real fight, but I think if I'm not convinced before it happens, round number 1 will tell me if this is for real or it's a cooking show. Bleed Blue. Can't you show it on YouTube? Can I show what on YouTube? Hold on, my peoples. Hold on. Oh, goodness. My peoples, welcome to a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast, man, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. So let me know, chat. Y'all think that Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is a real fight? Is it a real fight? Are they gonna fight for real? I need to know. I need to know if they're actually gonna be out there trying to knock each other out, my peoples. Is that the case? The Hydro Grind, I think it will start as a sparring, and only maybe, one of them gets frustrated and starts taking it serious mid-fight. Maybe. What if it's a 10-round sparring match? I don't know. I if the fight is for real, like they're suggesting it's gonna be, I would expect to see at least a few bombs flying in the first round. There's a big size difference. So if Jake Paul is saying that he's gonna get a viral knockout of a Tank Davis, then we should see that big right hand early and often, according to Jake. Sai, salute, my brother. Bam! Appreciate you dropping in. The Hydro Grind, I wouldn't be surprised to see a full sparring. You know, they've already sold it to us as a real fight, right? They've already said it's a real fight. Somebody could get knocked out. There's going to be judges. At the end, a winner is going to be announced. But all of that doesn't convince me, my people. Because at the end of the day, I know you're promoting it. You're promoting it. You're selling a fight. What you say is not convincing me that it's a real fight, though, that they're actually going to try to knock each other out. I got to see that. I got to see it. Good morning to everybody tuning in, my peoples. It's another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, giving y'all a healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. Do you believe that this is a real fight, that they're going to try to knock each other out? For real. Jazz Funk 22 was looking forward to Roach versus Tank fight. Fight will be a sparring session. So let me tell you something, Jazz Funk 22. I predicted that Lamont Roach was going to win the rematch. When I made that prediction, a lot of people told me Tank is going to knock him out in the rematch. He just wasn't himself in the first fight. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Watch the rematch. And I told them, do you see anybody in Tank's team be eager to fight Lamont Roach? You see anybody that's like, yeah, we want that, we want that. So, by the way, Lamont Roach is taking that shit to arbitration. I just saw a video recently. He's taking that shit to arbitration because they had a rematch clause. And Tank can't fight nobody else. Not competitively. Because you know that they're saying now a winner and a loser, right? They're making it supposedly where he can't do that under a rematch clause. So now Lamont Roach is taking it to arbitration. Watch. Remember that I told you this. They're going to have to give Lamont Roach a bag. Jay Stradamus, what's right now? Look. September 25th 7:15. Due to this fight between Tank Davis and Jake Paul being competitive with judges and winner losers being announced at the end, Lamont Roach is gonna have to get paid. They're gonna go to arbitration. He already said that. And they're gonna have to pay him because under a rematch clause, you cannot fight somebody else unless there's an agreement reached. You could fight somebody else in an exhibition, but this now is no longer an exhibition. Remember, they saying they put in judges and they announcing a winner. They're gonna have to pay Lamont Roach. You heard it from Jay Stradamus. Remember that. But I digress. Do you believe that Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is gonna be a real fight? Are they gonna be trying to knock each other out? Damn. The Hydro Ground. What would it do to Tank's career if he clearly gets beat in this exhibition? So, I don't think it does anything to his career because he's gonna remain undefeated. And if he get beat up, it would be to a much bigger guy that would be fighting 5, 6 divisions above him. Like, so I don't think it would do anything to his career, to be honest. It would do something to his image, and it would do something to his ego. But he's still gonna make, you know, a load of money whenever he fight after that. So it's not gonna have a negative impact money wise. But Jazz Funk 22 had the rematch being easier for Roach. Look, the rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach was very much anticipated. You guys know that this is not an exaggeration. This is the first time that Tank Davis stepped in the ring with an opponent and doesn't walk out of there with a win. Not just that, Lamont Roach became the first guy, the only guy, to put a blemish in Tank Davis' record. My people, hit that like button. Double tap that screen because I'm giving you facts. Lamont Roach is the guy who put that blemish. Tank Davis' record is no longer perfect. He's undefeated, but it's not perfect because now he has to draw. Lamont Roach gave him that. And you guys know that that one draw in his record it should have been an L. Y'all know I ain't cap. I never cap. That one L would have been on his record if he wasn't gifted that draw. Come on now. Let's keep it 100. Double tap that screen. Y'all know I ain't cap. So this controversial fight with a controversial ending, with the knee gate, with the grease in the eye gate, with the turning the back on the referee and the opponent gate, with the getting my face wiped in the face mid-round while the clock is ticking gate. You all got all that with a draw. Everybody want to see that rematch. Everybody wanted to see Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch. That was super anticipated. Bro, they didn't even have the balls to cancel that shit. Did you see an announcement that that fight was canceled anywhere? They didn't even set fights canceled. They just announced a whole brand new exhibition show. We witnessed Lamont Roach get kneecapped. That was his payday, his bag, his second time to shine on the huge stage. And it just got taken away. What he earned inside the ring. What got taken from him. Because that W got taken from him. Eugene Pearson, salute my brother. Bam. The Hydro Grind. He lost, but it wasn't a beatdown. Lamont Roach beat him up. What is you talking about? Beat him up. Man, you're going to make me look for the highlights. What you talking about? Domingo Bonilla, salute my brother. Bam. He lost to a split decision because of the knee he took. In a rematch, Tank would dominate. Bad nights happen. Lamont Roach will beat him up. Beat him up. What is you talking about? Did you not watch Lamont Roach put hands and feet on Tank right there at point blank range? And you talking about Tank is going to win a rematch? No. He didn't have a bad day, bro. He had Lamont Roach in front of him. That's what you got to understand. Eugene Pearson, Lamont Roach, super technical. I like the check hook he has, bro. Lamont Roach, and I like that you bring that up, Eugene. You know why? Because he proved his technical abilities in a fight where he fought with Tank Davis inside the phone booth for the most part and never got caught with that explosive shot that usually take people out. Never got hit with it. Never got hit with it. Yeah, he kept counter punching and going over Tank's punches and doing. And then when Tank was trying bullying tactics, he was doing it right back. Tank, in the break, Tank would punch him in the head. Punch him right back in the head. Tank shoving him, he's shoving him too. This dude was not there to get bullied or played around with, bro. Lamont Roach is the truth. We just, look, I myself predicted that Tank Davis was going to knock him out by or before the 9th round. You got this champion who can fight, but he's moving up from the 130 division. And he's literally fighting the hardest puncher in the division and one of the hardest pound-for-pound punchers in boxing in Tank Davis. You moving up. I'm like, nah, Tank Davis, man, is going to break him down slowly, and eventually that shot is going to land. He's going to sleep. We waited the whole night. And I'm going to tell you something. By about round number 6, I already knew Tank Davis was cooked. I already knew it because I saw him getting frustrated. I saw him doing things that are out of character for Tank Davis. Taking a knee and then try to say that it was Vaseline in the eyes. Come on. He was out of character. Remember when he hit Lamont Roach in the face with the shoulder? When he shoved him down? He was doing shit that was out of character for Tank Davis, bro. That showed me that he knew he was in trouble. Brian Romero, mi hermano, God bless. Hydro Grind is back after Crawford whooping to Canelo. He showed up, man. He showed up. The Hydro Grind, es que dominicano, loco. He's strong. And, you know, he was only shell-shocked for like a day. And then he showed up. But he was shell-shocked too. Don't get it twisted. Domingo Bonilla, if Tank felt like he would dominate, he would have rematched him right away. Of course, my brother. Of course he would have. And you know what's funny? This whole fake narrative about how Tank took Jake Paul because of the bag. That's why. I'm going to tell you why that's a fake narrative. The fight with Lamont Roach would have happened this month, my peoples. Let me debunk that narrative for you. Oh, Tank is going for the bag, though. The rematch with Jake Paul would have been early this month. That means that he could have... the rematch with Lamont Roach would have been early this month. That means that he could have rematched Lamont Roach and still fought and still exhibition showed Jake Paul later in the year. He could have still fought Lamont Roach. The exhibition show in the bag that everybody is talking about is set up for a date that would have been way after his rematch with Lamont Roach. Why skip on the rematch? Because you was going to get your ass whooped. You know you was going to get your ass whooped. Boxing elites. Good morning, my brother. Salute. Bam. Domingo Bonilla. If Tank felt like, yeah, oh, the hydro grind. I had Roach winning because of the knee. Other than that, it was super tight fight. Nah, bro. Nah, that's cap. You only saying that because you was rooting. Tank is your guy. You was rooting for him. Without the knee, he still got his ass whooped. You know how this fight played out, the hydro grind? I'm going to show you and make the comparison. This fight played out, and I'm going to be the first one to say it. I'm going to be the first one to make this comparison. This fight played out. I'm going to even get my receipt. Remember Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko? That's how Tank Davis and Lamont Roach played out. Teofimo dominated the first 6 rounds easy. Lomachenko tried to come back, but he was behind on the cards. And then Teofimo also did his thing at the end. So he walked out of there with the win. Lamont Roach and Tank Davis was the same thing. The first 6 rounds of that fight easy went to Lamont Roach. Easy work. And then the second half of the fight, Tank Davis picked up the pace, but he still got cooked in the last round, in the last couple of rounds. So therefore, it should have been a W for Lamont Roach by unanimous decision after he took that knee. Knee gate, my peoples. Come on now. And by the way, the New York State Athletic Commission acknowledged that the referee made a mistake when he did not rule it a knockdown. And in their review, they decided to leave the final decision as is. They chose not to overturn it, even though they admitted that it was a mistake. Come on now. We know why there's no rematch. They knew how that rematch was going to play out, and the Jake Paul bag would have disappeared. Poof. You could tell me if I'm lying. Eugene Pearson, I picked Roach. Boxing Elites. Ain't no one picked Roach to win. If they say they did, they lying. Well, I'm picking Roach. I was picking Roach to win the rematch. Not the first fight. I was picking Tank Davis to knock him out. I just saw that fight, and it tells me Roach got the skills to win the rematch. More convincingly because he won the first fight. Boxing Elite. Background sound is you in Manhattan. Nathan Vedder. All in all, will you say influencer boxing is a mockery of the sport? Shit, man. It's tough for me to say that it's a mockery of the sport. I think I would more say that it's a double-edged sword. Why? Because we, the hardcore boxing fans, we hate it. But the casual boxing fan, which makes up the majority, they don't hate it. So in a way, it's us, Nathan, who have to adapt and get with the program. Because it's gonna happen, it's gonna keep happening. Now that Jake Paul has been able to accomplish what he has, he's getting in the ring with Tank Davis, KSI getting in the ring with I don't know who. That's it. This is gonna be, boxing will never be what it was in the 90s and the early 2000s. It's never gonna be that again, my brother. So you're either gonna be frustrated because you wanted to go back to that and it won't, or you just get with the program and accept it. I was with you. I was with you, but eventually I was like, damn, if I go by that, I'm gonna be a grumpy old man because this is not gonna stop. I'm gonna become one grumpy old man every time these things happen, these fights. So I can't see myself embracing it, but I accept it. That's it. It is what it is. Jazz Funk have Roach winning by 3 rounds. Me too. Me too, my brother. Last warning. Morning, my brother. Good morning. Boxing Elite. Rematch? Yeah. They should have did the rematch. That's what was supposed to happen. That's why I say the notion that, oh, he had to get the bag from Jake Paul. That's false, because he could have did the rematch and still got the Jake Paul bag right after. The Hydro Grind, 115, 113 for Roach. That's how I had it. Yeah, but you're saying that you had it like that because of the knee. You're saying it's because of the knee made it, his win. Now, it's a fight where we saw Lamont Roach do what nobody's been able to do. Stand in the pocket with Tank Davis consistently. Walk him down. We never saw Lamont Roach once in that entire fight to where he was fighting defensively. Or he's trying to survive. Or he's moving around and Tank is chasing him. We never saw that. This guy was actually the aggressor versus Tank Davis for 12 rounds. Who would have expected that? Before that fight, I think the only people who knew that Lamont Roach was going to fight like that is Lamont Roach and his team. You imagine how confident Lamont Roach has to be in his ability to box, his technical abilities, when his game plan is to go in there and trade leather with Tank Davis on the inside and walk Tank Davis down. You know, how confident you gotta be in yourself to do that? When Tank Davis is one of the guys with the highest knockout percentages in boxing, and your game plan is that you're gonna walk him down. So, I say Lamont Roach deserves his credit and deserve that rematch. That's not cap. Deserve that rematch. So I say, you know what? Why would everybody say it's not a duck simply because Tank is making a lot of money? I don't know. But it was a duck. Make no mistake about it. Phone line. So I'm in a position where I say, you're gonna fight Jake Paul. We're gonna watch. We're gonna tune in. It's a big fight. Popularity wise, interesting fight. But it's not what we want. It's not what we want to see. That's all I'm saying. Now, is Tank Davis planning to retire after this exhibition show? Because he's going to make a lot of money. We know he's gonna make a lot of money, and he already has a lot of money. Is he gonna retire, or will he come back to the 140 division? I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing what is Tank going to do. The hydro grind. Roach should just surf on the momentum he has, and surf on the fact that he unofficially beat Tank, and just move on. He will make more money that way than fighting Tank and losing. He would make more money that way. That doesn't make no sense. He will make a lot more money and become a lot bigger star if he fights Tank and wins. So, if he believes in himself, your your theory makes no sense. Your theory is that of somebody who don't believe in Lamont Roach. The problem is that he believes in Lamont Roach, and his team believe in Lamont Roach. And I believe he's gonna whoop that ass if they fight again. You come on, the hydro grind. You know why this rematch is not happening. You know he duck, and you know why he duck. So the notion that, oh well, he might as well move on because he could lose, and then he ain't gonna lose. You're right. Clinton Eddie, is it true Tank is in the Sheik's bad books, and this is the only fight he can get to make some bread? Everyone else is jumping on the Dubai train with Dana White and the Sheik. So there's been some back and forth with Tank Davis and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheik. Honestly, it looks like right now Tank don't want to do business with them, and they don't want to do business with Tank. So I don't know what are the options, but I will tell you what. Gary Antoine Russell is a PBC fighter, and he's a champion in the 140 division. So that's a fight that could be made. Think about that. Gary Antoine Russell is a 140 division champion. And Tank Davis already said that he plans to move to that division. Finally, fight a reigning world champion. And that would be a great fight, by the way. That would be a great fight. Clinton Eddie. Apparently the Sheik said he isn't a businessman and doesn't know how to do business. I mean, listen. You have to look at Tank Davis' career and the amount of money that he's made and the things that he's done. So to say that he isn't a businessman because you guys aren't able to enter in a business, I don't think that's fair. Tank Davis, he has a team around him that does business, and that's what a businessman does. So I would say Tank Davis is a great businessman, taking into account the amount of money that he has made in boxing without even having to fight any of the best. Some people consider him the face of boxing without him having to fight any of the best. So I would say, man, they've been great businessmen. They done great business. Giovanni Walker, what up, Jay Smith? Giovanni Walker, salute, my brother. Bam. Hold on, let me go over here in case somebody needs to get cooked. I need to be in the right place. You need to get cooked. Just know that I'm in the right spot for cooking you. Just know that I'm in the right place where I could just cook you easily. Clinton Eddie. Gary Russell will be 100 times better than Jake Bloody Paul. I love watching Tank. I'm just looking through the media and can't tell what's real. You see, sometimes people try to label me as a Tank Davis hater. And I always tell people, as a fighter, the abilities that Tank has, what he's able to do in the ring. Yo, I love watching Tank Davis just like everybody else. I'm a fan of Tank Davis, my peoples. I'm just not a fan of the opponent that they choose for him or the opponents that he chooses. We watched such a competitive fight with Lamont Roach, a fight where many felt like he won, like Tank was gifted a draw. We have a rematch, a very anticipated rematch. We have a rematch date set. And all of a sudden we get a, no. It's going to be an exhibition show with Jake Paul. How are you supposed to feel about that? I know that Tank Davis has his hardcore fans that are going to say, nah, he got to get the bag. And we would do the same thing too. But isn't boxing about the best fighting the best? Come on now. Isn't boxing about if they say you're the best and we say this guy's the best, you guys fight each other and we find out. We send that goofball to the block party. Side, Tank ducked. I agree with you. There's no other way around it. He ducked Lamont Roach. Clifton Eddy. I'm in Australia, so I only see what's online. I never get the real. That's why I come here. Will it ever be a real fight? Bro, listen. Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. I'm me personally. I'm not convinced that it's a real fight. They have to convince me. And I think that it's hard for them to say something that could convince me because they could say whatever they want. But I'm going to just say this. It's an exhibition, we know that, but it's also a real fight. Does that really make sense? An exhibition and a real fight? An exhibition where they got judges and somebody going to announce the winner? So I don't know. I don't know if this is a cooking show that we're watching or an actual fight. But we're going to find out. I promise you, in round number 1, we're going to know if this fight is real or if this is a cooking show. Round number 1. That's why I'm in my kitchen. Look. It's Tank Davis versus Jake Paul or cooking show. I'm in the kitchen, trying to tell you. I'm in the kitchen, myself. Al Booger, salute my brother. Bam, Clinton Eddy, scripted. Or at least a deal for no KOs. But that's what I'm talking about. It wouldn't be a real fight. It would be more of a sparring match. And we're trying to catch each other, trying to look good. But ain't gonna be no haymakers where I got you and I'm trying to get you out of there. That's why I say, I'm not convinced that it's a real fight. But when that first bell rings, we're all gonna find out. We're gonna find out. It's not gonna take long. Jake Paul is a lot bigger, has a huge reach advantage on Tank Davis. Obviously, he's going to be heavier. So, if it is a real fight, he's going to be swinging for the fences. We're going to know. Jake Paul said that he's going to get the most viral knockout of Tank Davis. But, here's the problem. If he's really gonna try to knock Tank Davis out, I say he's gonna run into a counter punch and go to sleep. He's the one. If he goes in there swinging for the fences and Tank Davis, one of the best counter punchers in the game, one of the hardest pound for pound punchers in the game. If you get hit with a Tank Davis shot that you don't see coming, you go to sleep. It don't matter if you weigh 300 pounds. You don't see it coming, you cooked. So if this is going to be a real fight and Jake Paul going to go in there swinging for the fences, well, I don't know. I hope they have the medic on site. Clinton Eddie, like Rolly. I'm trying to tell you. If Jake Paul get overconfident and start swinging for the fences, he might actually get knocked out. He might go to sleep. Because he has the size difference is in his favor. Yes. But from a technical aspect, the gap is like this. Jake Paul's down here. Jake Paul couldn't beat a ranked contender in the division. He's down here. Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's down here. Tank Davis is way up here. I'm talking about skills-wise. Skills-wise, Tank Davis is at the top of the top. Let's forget about the resume. Let's forget about his cherry-picking ways. Skills-wise, Tank Davis up here. Counter-punching, footwork, ring IQ, power. Tank Davis got everything in the bag of tools. Jake Paul is down here. Down here. So I need you to understand that if they are gonna fight for real, just like I explained to you for Crawford versus Canelo, the size and the power will not dictate the outcome. The skills. That difference in skills is gonna be way too much for Jake Paul to overcome just because he's bigger and stronger. It's too much. Tank Davis will beat him up. If they actually gonna fight for real, Tank Davis gonna beat him up. The Hydro Grind. It would be sad if this is the last time we see Tank in the ring. He's gonna make a lot of money, man, and he's been talking about retiring. He's been floating that around and spending more time with the family. So I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see Tank Davis after this. And you know what's crazy? Just recently, Tank Davis said, "Nah, I'm not the face of boxing. I'm just some guy who boxes." I thought that was pathetic. Pathetic. You know why? Yo, but it was just a few years ago, man, that Tank Davis and Ellaby was telling us that he the face of boxing, he the face of boxing. And PBC fans, Tankomaniacs, he the face of boxing, he the face of boxing. And now he want to fight, he want to duck a rematch to do an exhibition with Jake Paul, and now he talking about he not the face of boxing. Nah, I ain't the face of boxing, bro. I'm just a dude who box making money. Huh? I don't know what's going on. What's going on? What was the whole change of scenery, the whole change of point of view? Yo, the Tank did say he wants to go to college. Oh, you're so right. Clifton Eddie, if Tank loses, it's over for him. He be laughed at and his legacy obliterated. Look, I'm going to be honest, I don't put no type of weight on the results of this fight. It's not a real fight, it's an exhibition, so I don't think it really affects him at all. I guarantee you, if after this fight, 3-4 months later, he decides to fight again, 6 months later, a year, whatever, when he decides to fight again, it's still going to be a huge fight. He's still going to make a lot of money. And he's still going to have the same people supporting him. So it's not really going to affect him. Like, what legacy we really talking about here? Tank Davis hasn't even fought a single reigning champion in the 135 division. His legacy right now is ducking all the best. JJ's in the house. Good morning, Jay Smith. I'm here. Let's go. Salute my brother. Bam. Hit that like button, everyone. 15 likes is 16 likes is diabolical. Look, I'm in the kitchen cooking for y'all, man. Cooking for you, and that's what I get. Double tap that screen, man. I know some people don't want to hear that Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach, but I'm just telling you the truth. All it is. Brady, he's being laughed at already. It's a joke, and I hope it falls apart. Look, man, they're going to make a lot of money. They have a lot of resources to put together a great show. They have some championship fights. Gary Antoine Russell is going to be fighting on that same card. Alicia Baumgartner also going to be fighting on that card. So I'm super looking forward to those fights, by the way. So Jake Paul smart. They know what they're doing. You know, there's some real good fights, some championship fights right before the circus show. And whether or not you like Jake Paul, Brady, or not, you want it to fall apart, you can't tell me that you don't want to watch Gary Antoine Russell defend his title. You can't tell me that you don't want to watch Alicia Baumgartner defend her titles. So that's the same card. You're going to watch those fights early in the card and then be like, oh, let me turn this thing off. I don't want to see Tank and Jake mix it up. We're going to watch, most of us. JJ Sendejas, don't be a duck. Hit the like button. Yo, people be ducking, bro. What's going on? Yoda, you think Gabby Fundora can beat Baumgartner? I mean, they're divisions apart, bro. They're multiple divisions apart. Maybe that's a fight that could happen in the future. I don't see that fight happening no time soon because of it, because how far apart they fight. I think it's a good fight. It's hard to make a prediction, but I think if they fight in a few years, because they would have to meet up, you know, Fundora would have to move up multiple divisions to finally meet with Baumgartner, right? So if, let's say they meet up in 2 or 3 years, I think I'm giving it to Fundora. Just because if I'm, you know, yo, she's not even in her prime yet. What is she? How old is she right now? 23? At 23, bro, you haven't even reached your prime yet. Like, she's still gonna be better than what she is right now, and she's the youngest undisputed champion. So I think I'm going with her, beating Alicia Baumgartner if they face each other, I don't know, 3, 4 years down the line. JJ's in there has Jay Smith. Thanks for making that short with name in it, with you falling asleep. I wasn't falling asleep, bro. I told you I was resting my eyes because at that particular moment, I was waiting to do the outro. But you saw that I showed you the follow-up video when like it took like 10 seconds. I opened my eyes and I finished the show, bro. Who wakes up and they just talking out of nowhere? That's how you know I wasn't sleeping. I just woke up and just started yapping away. Side, Fundora too skinny for Baumgartner. She might get bigger because she's still young, like 23, but that's what I'm talking about. At 23 years old, she's going to grow. She's going to get bigger. And she hasn't even reached her maximum, like, strength, bro. It's great. It's scary to think about where Gabriela Fundora is going to be in 2, 3 years if she's already this right now. Come on, my people. This girl is something else. JJ Sendeja, you exactly, Jay Smith. She's only 23 years old. You see? 23, bro. Imagine when she's 25, 26, dead in her prime, at the peak of her strength and speed and power. She's not there yet. It's scary. She's scary right now. Imagine 3, 4 years when she get physically to her peak. JJ's in the house. Okay, Jay Smith. That's my story and I'm sticking with it, bro. My God, it is what it is. But no sleeping was going on. Ow, booger. The short got me. But it's proof that I wasn't sleeping. If you really think about it, it's proof that I only closed my eyes for a few seconds. So it might make it seem like I was sleeping. But no, ladies and gentlemen, rested my eyes, 10 seconds, open them right back, and I was yapping away. If I would have been waking up, I would have been like, nope. I opened my eyes and I was like, well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. We out of here. And I finished the show. Come on, my people. Yoda, after seeing Bud move up to fight Canelo, you're going to see a lot more fighters taking those chances. Of course. Because it shows that it can be done. To all those people who counted them out, they now know that it can't be done. The next time that a guy says, I'm jumping up 2 divisions, I'm going after you, That's it. No longer will you say, this weight class is for a reason. Shut your goofy ass up. You already saw it happen. See? So Terrence Crawford is redefining what you can and can't do. Redefining the terminology, weight classes for a reason. Stop saying this weight class is for a reason for a 2-division jump. Crawford show you it don't apply. Showed you. And by the way, a lot of people struggling with accepting the fact that Terrence Crawford is now the face of boxing. I see a lot of pushback, a lot of kickback. Why? Why not accept the reality of what took place on September 13th? That was a passing of the torch. Let me get that, homie. You was the guy. You've been the face of boxing all these years. You've been getting the props. You've been getting the accolades. You've been getting the... That's it. This is my show. This is my era now. And I'm the one that's handling things around here. I'm the sheriff around here. But, so now that he's the face of boxing, you're going to see a lot of people wanting to get in the ring with the new face. Boo Boo already say he want to fight him. Jermell Charlo already say he want to fight Crawford. Johnny Beck already, he's ready to fight Crawford. Benavidez already mentioned, yeah, I'll do it if they... Everybody already got the new face of boxing name in their mouth. Who you see calling out Canelo right now? Who you see talking about, I want to fight Canelo? People want to fight Bud. That's what they want to fight. And over 40 million people, including Canelo's fan base and boxing fans from all over the world, tuned in to watch Terrence Crawford make Canelo look easy. He the face of boxing. That's it. That's already been decided, homie. Get with the program. Get with the program up in here. Brady, Jake 40, 50 pounds bigger than Tank. You don't think that's strong to be a problem if Jake lands a squirrel punch? So Brady, if Jake lands, of course he could hurt Tank Davis badly. But the skill gap between them, you're putting a guy who's been boxing for 6 years, who learned how to box as a grown man, versus a guy who's been boxing since he was like 5, 6 years old, who's been world champion in multiple divisions, who's been in the big stage. The skill gap, my brother, suggests that Jake Paul has virtually no chance to land that shot. That shot that he could hurt Tank Davis with, if they're fighting for real, Jake has no opportunity, bro. The pounds, the 50 pounds, and the height, all of that is not going to help. You got somebody that has way, way too many technical advantages on you. To give you an example, Brady, that's like me and you getting into a fight, but we got to stand across the room, and I got a stick, I got a baseball bat, I got a rock, I got all type of stuff, and all you got is a straw. It don't matter. You could outweigh me by 500 pounds, but that straw, I got too many weapons that could really hurt you. With that straw, you're going to have a big problem trying to get me. So Jake Paul, his skill level, I'm giving him a straw because his skill level versus Tank Davis' skill level, he got a straw, bro. And it's going to be tough for him to poke Tank Davis' eyeball with that straw. While Tank Davis got the baseball bat, the hammer, the knife, the everything. It's levels. It's levels, and they're way too many levels apart from each other for Jake Paul to stand it, even a remote chance. The Hydro Grind, Adames versus, damn, I don't want to mispronounce that name, bro. I gotta look for how to pronounce it. For undisputed and winner takes but at 160. So you can see that Terrence Crawford is already back in training, because that's what he do. Those who didn't want to accept that he a gym rat, that's what he do. So after the biggest win of his career, one of the biggest wins in boxing history, he already back in the gym. He already preparing. So don't be surprised if Crawford is announcing a fight. You know, not for now, obviously he's going to take a break, but 4 or 5 months from now, he might be fighting again. It might be at 160, and if it is, then he might actually decide to go for undisputed in a 4th division. Which now we're talking about, okay, so you decided that you're going to be, you don't want to be just the face of boxing. Now you want to be the greatest of all time. That's what we're talking about here. Going for undisputed in a 4th division. Oh, now you're trying to be the greatest of all time. That's what's going on over here. My peoples, to those of you who tuned in, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing, Tank Davis, Jake Paul. Is that actually going to be a real fight, man? Like I said, I'm personally not convinced. They have not convinced me that this is a real fight. I'm having a hard time believing or buying into the whole, this is an exhibition, but it's for real. We got judges, and somebody's going to be named the winner, but it's still an exhibition. So I'm not convinced. Brady, so you think Jake Paul won't hit him once? Well, hitting him once and hitting him with that big shot is a different thing. Jake Paul could have hit Tommy Fury once with that big shot. He ain't gonna hit Tank Davis with it, man. He don't got no chance. No chance whatsoever. That's like a dream. Jake Paul, look, I'll put it to you like this. Jake Paul has a better chance of winning the lotto, giving up all the money to somebody, and winning the lotto again the next day to give up that prize money to somebody, to then win the lotto a 3rd day in a row. He has a better opportunity of winning the lottery 3 days in a row than he does of landing that shot on Tank Davis. That's how I'm giving it context for you, brother. There's just no chance. Yoda, do you have David beating Bivol? Honestly, I do. I got David Benavidez beating Dimitri Bivol, and I believe that that's what would have happened. Remember, Benavidez was the mandatory for Dimitri Bivol, and Bivol preferred to vacate. And I know that people say, oh no, because Turkey wanted him to fight Beterbiev, and he's being low. So no matter what anybody tells me, I see a duck. That's what I see, my people. A straight up duck. No, we gotta keep the same energy for everybody. You can't call this guy a duck for not handling his mandatory, and that guy's not a duck because you can formulate a good excuse for him. No. I'm not buying into that. Everybody who don't handle their mandatory, you got a high profile mandatory, a big name, somebody who people think that could beat you, and you don't fight them, you duck. I don't want to hear no excuses that you had a good reason to duck. Shaggy, happy Thursday, my G. Let's talk about boxing. Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. You tell me, man, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. Is it a real fight? Are they actually going to be trying to knock each other out? Or is this a cooking show? Are we going to be watching a cooking show? Because I'm keeping it real with y'all, man. I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is going to be a real fight. They haven't convinced me. I've never seen a situation where they're saying that an exhibition fight is gonna have judges and they're gonna. Oh, my audio cutting off. Okay, that's because I was close to the TV. Maybe. I've never seen an exhibition fight where they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna put judges in here and we're gonna announce the winner and we're gonna do all this." I'm not convinced. That don't make no sense to me. That really don't make no sense. It's an exhibition and a real fight at the same time. I don't know. Something ain't right. Yoda, I think Bomac is getting Lester Martinez ready for David in 2 years. That could be the case. That could be a future showdown. Could be a future showdown. And a good one, too. And a real good one. But I want to know what exactly is Tank Davis going to do after the exhibition fight with Jake Paul. Is he going to retire or is he just going to go straight to 140 to fight somebody else? To, have a real fight. Not an exhibition show. Let's see, man. Let's see. Let's see how this whole thing is going to play out. Superman in the building. Salute, my brother. Bam. Yoda, I think Bomac is getting less than much. Oh, okay. JJ's in the house. Good morning, Superman. So, my peoples, again, man, I'm not convinced. Let's see how this thing plays out. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion. Do you guys think that the fight is real? Do you guys think that the fight is fake? What do you think? What do you think? The Hydro Grind. Who you got in that Billy versus Martinez rematch? That first fight is one of those that when they score it a draw, you say, yes, that was the right call. What a good fight. First of all, what a good fight. It's very hard to predict a winner for the rematch. Because once you take a look at that first fight, the way that it played out, the way that both guys show their strength and their abilities, their technical abilities, their abilities to counterpunch, to trade on the inside, to be explosive, to take punches. It's tough, bro. It's tough. I can't tell you right now. I'm gonna look at some video and off of that try to make an assessment and make a prediction, but it's real hard. That's gonna be a heck of a fight. Yoda, and Billy will win if he pace himself. JJ's in their house. As real boxing I have to say, it's just for entertainment purposes. I mean, it is. It's an exhibition. Why is an exhibition being taken seriously as a real fight? Oh, there's gonna be a real fight. I think the narrative of it being a fake fight, maybe that's why they decided, let's make it a real fight. Let's get judges and people get excited. But it's a fake fight, man. I don't want to hear it. There's nothing that you can't convince me. But I tell you what, when they actually get in the ring, if they trade leather and they actually swing for the fences, then I'll go as far as telling you it's an exhibition fight where they actually threw punches for real. Not a real fight, though. The Hydro Grind. They're trying to make it a headline in Quebec, which is in Billy territory. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, I like that. That's a good idea. That's a good concept. Boxing, you know, boxing is a worldwide sport. Wait up, right? Nebraska Road. Greetings from the main streets of Omaha, Nebraska. Salute, my brother. Bam! My peoples, y'all know what it is, man. Hit that like button, man. I'm giving y'all this early dosage of sweet science. JJ's in the house. Breakfast today, spam and eggs with toast and coffee. Enjoy it. Damn. Sounds like a tasty breakfast. You definitely want to enjoy that, my brother. My peoples, let me put you onto something. First of all, as I always do, I want to say thank you to everybody tuning in. Everybody who's always showing love. Y'all see me in the kitchen, man. I'm cooking for y'all. I'm out here cooking for y'all. JJ said that, J. Smith, you missed my message way up about Crawford. Let me see if I find it. Here we go. JJ said that, J. Smith, lots of people don't want to give that recognition to Crawford. He was like Ali. He shook up the world. Oh, that's facts. That's facts. Now, you see me in the kitchen and you feel like you got to step up in here and cook. That's facts. They don't want to give Bud his credit. Again, my peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in, everybody who been showing love, everybody who hit that like button, everybody who subscribed to the channel. We already passed 2,000 subscribers, headed to 3,000, headed to number 1. Is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul gonna be a real fight? I don't know, my peoples. But what I do know is that this is real boxing content going on over here. And I'm gonna leave you guys with the Jay Stradamus words of the day. You never know when a contract is going to be presented to you for one reason or the next. We all know that you should never sign a contract that you don't understand, right? We all know that. When you have something to bring to the table and somebody who doesn't have anything to bring to the table wants to get into contract with you, I suggest you never do that. Because that means they'll be trying to be using you to make money off of. Which is the reason why most people get jerked with contracts. They enter into agreements, and then later down the line, they come to understand that they gave up rights that they didn't really want to. So my peoples, do not sign a contract if there's anything off about it. That's my words of the day to you. Nebraska Raw. Tank was sizing up Jake, and he shook off $2 million bet. I mean, listen, Tank Davis and Jake Paul, they doing all of that. I don't know if it's for show. I don't know if that's going to be a real fight. I don't know if that's part of the circus show to make us feel like it's going to be a real fight. We're finally going to find out when they step in the ring. To me, I'm going to know if it's real when they step in the ring. When I see the haymakers, I'm going to say, oh, shit, this is serious over here. But if it turns into a sparring match, I'll be like, damn, that's what I expected. Damn. Golden Rock, great channel. Appreciate it, Golden Rock. My peoples, y'all already know what it is. This was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Salute to everybody who hit the like button. Salute to everybody who subscribed to the channel, who, who shared my videos, who's done anything to support Box Center. I appreciate you, my guys. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. I'm signing off. Peace.